Hello, hello. How are we doing? I'm fantastic. Thanks for asking. And yeah, Annie and I, with the episode number 2, we've just talked about spiritual awakening in the further episode. And our goal is really to, yeah, really guide into the spiritual topics and various different topics and how everything is connected as well. So people, whilst they are awakening and whilst they're becoming aware of the like maybe even weird things, right? You experience things that you cannot explain, or you just start knowing things for no apparent reason, or you think about something and it becomes reality. All of those things are very beautiful to experience, and we are looking to really guide you into understanding yourself on a deeper level, because this is all perfectly natural, and we're all having that natural connection with each other, with all living things. And it's been, yeah, just a pleasure to see how the conversation between Annie and Jana is developing right now. So let's dive into it. Right, when I started talking about the connectedness, and you said that the animals, or like the cats, came through and they wanted you or us to also talk about it, I guess, and they came through in your book into the last chapter. So I want to talk about really the connection that we all have with nature, and I do strongly believe that we are part of nature, and the more that we learn to live with each other, and to harmonize our living with the people around us, with the animals that we have living with us, that we're connecting with, even the foods that we eat, trees, flowers, the ocean, right? We all have a special connection to those things. And yeah, what comes through for you, Annie?
Yeah, it was really interesting that the animals wanted to emphasize that we do have this connection with everything. We're not in isolation, and what we do does have a ripple effect around us. And I think it's remembering that everything's vibrating at different frequencies, and that's what connects us all as well. So, the trees are alive, they're a living organism, and they're nurturing us with shade and with helping with our oxygen supply and with whatever fruit they're growing and the timber that they grow, so that there's a relationship there. But they're a living organism. The animals are living beings. And the words that we use all vibrate at a frequency as well. So we're all connected through that frequency. So when we're talking about really positive topics and saying things that are encouraging, that's the energy that we're vibrating and we're sending out into the world. And I know they've done research with plants that if we say positive things to plants, that it affects their growth rate and affects their productivity. And the same with animals. If we call them positive names and positive nicknames, they respond to that. Whereas if we're negative with the words that we say,
And when I'm
that can
friendly
have
to
an
you, you
impact.
feel better as well than if I would make yourself very small, right? It's like this is just something that I want to throw in right now. So this is, I wouldn't interrupt a different way, but if we actually are learning to be kind to each other, right? And even in interrelation with other human beings, we do feel different. No one of us likes to be shamed from someone else. No one likes to be bullied from by someone else. So this is all, it does make sense. And if someone pushes me, or if someone says beautiful things about my progress and my growth, and I do develop better because it nurtures me and it gives me that beautiful feeling. So yeah. Mm,
So I think it's sort of just being conscious of that connection to everything, that, none of us are working in isolation and
yeah.
everything that we do has an impact. But just really being aware of the frequencies of the words we use. And as we work on our spiritual development, we will start vibrating at a higher level. We all vibrate at a certain frequency, but as we ascend and expand our consciousness,
Hmm.
our level of vibration changes, and people around us and animals around us will be receptive to those changes as well. And sometimes they don't know what's going on with us. They know something's different, but they don't know what it is. But
Yeah,
we then also attract people who, they say, they're on your vibe or they're part of your tribe. Like attracts like, and people will be drawn to that frequency. It's something that, people can just feel. I've had people coming up to me saying, "You're so calm." Like they can
yeah.
just feel that, like strangers, but they can
Hmm.
just read your energy. You know, some people just feel joy and bliss. They want to come up and hug you and share in that
Yeah.
energy as well. So you can make a you I always say in my posts that you never know who you're influencing and whose life you're affecting by what you do. Like the things that you do, that energy just ripples out into the universe. And you don't know how much you're affecting someone's life just with, giving them a hug or a positive message, or, you're just thinking about them. That does make a difference.
Mm, it's so beautiful. I I just remembered us two hugging at this event that we met, and it is like that. Like I felt your presence, I felt your calmness, I felt your warmth and the light um that you are and that you embody. So yeah, beautiful to remind that and to the interconnection of things. And this is where I come now to the story that I've just mentioned before, that it is so beautiful to see the synchronicities in life and that you really do attract what you're vibrating on, and you will always find people that are on your vibration and that you share experiences. So what happened end of last year and this year, like so end of 2022 and this year in 2023, like I think it was around 3 months apart, and this whole thing happened, and I decided to face my fears in, I think it was No Fear November or something like that, that I've done that challenge on Instagram, where I challenged myself to face different fears every day. So for 30 days or for this whole month, I faced different challenges, and one was dancing. One was actually partner dance, and I decided to go to Brazilian Zouk. And then there was the Zouk festival after 2, 3 weeks in, and I wanted to grab a drink. My backpack was stored underneath a chair, so I went to the chair and someone was sitting on top of it, and I grabbed this bottle and I look at this girl who was sitting on top of it, or this woman, and like we look at each other, and it just felt that knowing right away and the connection that I just needed to sit there and to have a conversation with her. And it was such a beautiful encounter. People say, oh, if you look at us, we're looking like brother and sister. We have a similar type of beingness, I would say. In instantaneously connected, felt warm, felt each other, conversations about things that I wouldn't talk with a stranger about. So we cried together, we shared stories together, we've been both super grateful in that very moment. And then we stayed in touch. I visited her once in Sydney, as she's from Sydney. I was in Brisbane at this time. So I flew down. Also, the week was very beautiful, just flowing like brother and sister, literally, like so easy that I haven't had experience before. And back to Brisbane, busy with my own things, struggling in life, like literally struggling in life. Um, no, no money, no nothing, like no savings, and receiving the information that I have to go to Bali. And I didn't know why. I didn't have the money to do it. I just knew I had to do it. I had to leave the place that I was living in. And I had no idea where to go next. I think you remember. I think I even had
Yes.
contact with you
Mhm.
at this stage, and I somehow managed to get it. I flew to Bali already. This is a whole nother story, but to keep it shorter, um, I arrived in a place called Ubud in Bali, and I was visiting this cafe that was just two houses or like two home like right in the street. And I felt very great in there, like great food, great people. I felt welcome. And I decided when I was meditating at home or in the place I was staying in to channel energy to that place, to my surrounding, to entire Ubud as well. And I filled up and charged up with so much energy, so much life force flowing through me. I was erected, right? My spine became straighter and straighter. I was feeling so much energy. And all of a sudden, I felt this energy coming in, and I felt a very strong, beautiful, knowing presence. And I heard a voice saying, Anna is in Ubud. What? Anna is in Ubud. Anna is the name of my friend that I've just talked about.
Mhm.
And wow, okay. So finished this meditation, sent her a message on the in the night or maybe even the next day, however. And she said, yes, she is there. And it was just so fascinating because I didn't know. And then I get the information in the meditation is very beautiful and mystical and very like helped me also to just see the magic of life in a different way. But this wasn't it. We even go one further now. So we didn't made a time up or a day where we wanted to catch up by going into this cafe. I do things. I want to go to the restroom, and literally our paths just cross and we meet and we look at each other and we had no questions. We had this knowing. We have been super happy, not even surprised in any way, as we are both in that connected field of energy, and we obviously some part of us felt that we are going to meet. So we weren't surprised. We just knew that we had to be at this time, at this place, and we met each other. And this all happened within 3 months. So this is such a beautiful, magical experience and like just to show the connectedness of us as human beings, as living organisms that, yeah, that I really felt to share to talk about this topic.
And I think it's a really lovely example that often we do meet people that we feel as though we know,
Yeah.
and like we have no conscious memory of meeting them in this lifetime. But there is that deep sense of comfort being in their presence, that it's just so familiar and you just feel completely at ease with them. And you just think, this is really weird. Why do I feel as though I know this person?
Yeah.
And that's something that we can experience on our spiritual journey, that we get to cross paths with souls that we're meant to connect with. And, you know, Anna may have been someone that you've had a past life with and that you're meant
Oh,
to
yeah.
have time within this lifetime. But just the joy it brings, just being in their energy, you know, even if you're just sitting there having a cup of coffee, you don't even need to be saying anything, but it's a communion of the souls that you just in that energetic field, sharing space. And it's just beautiful when you find someone whose energy you just love being in. It's
Hmm.
all part of that soul experience.
Yeah.
But yeah, meeting those amazing people, and I think the same with us. Like when our paths crossed, there was just some kind of recognition. I haven't delved into it yet, but the same. You know, I could
The
feel
spark.
your energy, and it was just so peaceful standing
Yeah.
next to you. You know, didn't even have to talk to each other, but you could just enjoy that silent connection, but it's the souls connecting that's so powerful. And I've had so many people say that, or you meet people and you just think, I know you, I don't know how I know you. And I've met lots of people and we've worked out we've had past lives like in
Hmm.
Egypt or other places that you just work out what
Yeah.
the connection is. But then the same thing happens with our animals, that some of our animals seem very familiar to us, or we have this incredibly strong bond and we don't know why. It's not the same with every animal. And I've discovered with my conversations that we've had past lives with some of our animals, and they may have been a human with us in a past lifetime. So they could have been our child or our partner, or they might have been an animal with us in the
Mm.
past. And it just, on a soul level, we recognize that there's something very special about the bond, but we don't know why. But it's just part of this spiritual journey that we just have to accept what happens. And as you say, go with the flow, and we just
Mhm.
enjoy being in the moment and just grateful for all these reconnections that we're having.
Yeah. The sitting in silence with each other is very, very beautiful. And the communication that happens between us. And I think everyone has experienced that before, being in love with someone even, right? And it might be a um intimate relationship, it might be a sexual relationship, whatever. But even with your parents or your mom or your animal, like to sit in silence and just to feel each other, just to be with each other. And sometimes we don't even need to use our mouth to have a conversation with each other, but we're feeling connected. And yeah, it's very beautiful, and it's really the yeah, it's very magical in a way. And I think when we're in that silence as well and having those conversations even with each other, or we're communing with each other from soul to soul, then we do have that telepathic connection. And I know that you are very big in that, and that this is a big part of your work that you do. And if I remember going back to our meeting, like we looked into each other's eyes and we saw that spark, that light in each other. And from there on, we just knew that we could look at each other, we could smile, and we could just talk about things that other
Anything.
people, anything, anything, just this knowingness of things. So yeah, it's been very, very fascinating.
And that's what I think is just so exciting about connecting with souls, that that there is that sense of ease and comfort, and you can just talk about anything and everything, and you wouldn't normally talk to other people about a lot of the things we've talked about together. I
Yeah,
wouldn't sit down with a stranger and talk about those things, because you just don't know how open they are and how awake they are to being able to discuss the topics comfortably. But when you meet someone and you just know on a level that they know, then it's really, I think, reassuring when you're on your soul journey, because as we said, you can feel very alone,
yeah,
and finding someone who understands that you're not actually weird and that you're just on your spiritual path. It's just such a relief to be able to find someone that you can share your similar experiences with, and different experiences, and make sense of what seems to be totally bizarre.
yeah, I love that. And it's like what I feel and what we were going to talk about as well in another episode, and maybe even the next one before we're going into those really psychic connections in a deeper way or to telepathic communication, that actually sharing something with someone that we wouldn't share with anyone, that we are have to be very mindful in the way that we communicate and what we are sharing, as not everyone is understanding us, and we tend to lose more energy or to give away too much without actually receiving something um, And this always has to be in an equal manner, right? The moment I give, the moment I receive. It's not that I'm just giving or just receiving. There's always an equal exchange happening if we're really aware of what we're doing. And this is when we really become in tune with the connection that we have with ourselves. This is where it all starts. Yeah, I love that. You just enjoy the silence right now, yeah?
But it's just as though
Mm,
when you're with someone that you know on a soul level, it's just a perfect moment that you're together and you can just relax, and it doesn't matter what happens in the world, that you're just kind of in this, not like a bubble of bliss, but that's kind of the sensation, that it is just so joyful being with the
mm,
souls that you've known somehow. And it doesn't matter if we don't work out how we know each other. We know that we have a soul connection, and it's just wonderful every time we do connect and have a conversation. And it's just, yeah, it's just, I
yeah.
think it's a blessing to
Mhm.
find people that you know. And it's just interesting, you met Anna in the coffee shop and you hadn't arranged that you were going to be there. She wouldn't know what part of the little town that you were actually going to be in. But the universe just creates these moments
Yeah,
of magic and miracles so that we can experience what we meant to. And I think having those moments of a connection are so important when you can feel so isolated from people, that it's really refreshing and rejuvenating for your spirit to be uplifted by other people.
hmm, that's it. And to stay uplifted, right? To stay uplifted, we really have to take care of our own energy and vibration, because the higher that we vibrate and the more we learn to, yeah, right, care about our energy hygiene, right? Not just using hand sanitizer, but actually being aware of what we're doing, when we're doing it, how we're doing it. And yeah, let's talk about that in the next one, I think,
Mm-hmm.
to to let the people know. So thank you for watching. Um, yes, we want to keep those things short, to keep it digestible, really for the people to understand and to not be overwhelmed sometimes with too much information, and not to go into too many different aspects, because they're all interconnected. And the awakening can be very, oh yeah, can be very fascinating at times, overwhelming. I felt before, and I really, I had to take care of my energy a lot, and I have blurred things out that I don't regret, because it's part of the journey that I chose, but that I really had to learn to take a step back and to harness my own energy. So we're going to talk about those things in the next episode. Is there anything else that you would like to share?
No, I think that's going to be very valuable, talking about how to look after ourselves, because we can't do what we're meant to be doing if our energy isn't in a good state. We have to keep recharging the batteries. But
Yeah,
I've loved having this conversation, and yeah, just being open to the fact that if you meet someone and you feel as though you know them and you don't know why, it's probably because on a soul level you do know them, and then you have the fun of exploring how you know them and why. But I just think it's magical that we get to have these connections, whether it's with an animal, whether it's with a person. But it's all about evolving our heart, and helping us to grow on a soul level.
awesome. Thank you. So like the video if you like it, and like it also if you don't. Um, leave a comment. Let us know what you think, if you have any questions, if you feel you want something you want to share something, or would be lovely to see, and we'd be um as quick as we can in answering. And yeah, share the video if you felt it valuable for you, right? Or someone that you know might benefit from the video, share it Instagram story, share it with your friends, talk about it on the dinner table, whatever you do. If it was valuable for you, it most likely will be valuable for other people as well. So thanks for watching. All my love, and talk soon or see you in the next episode.